Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to start adding our auth service. Okay, so in the auth service, we're going to add the different methods. So once we're done with the auth service, we can then go ahead to add our controllers. Okay, so in the source, create a folder called services. Okay, and I'll create a file called auth.service.ts. Okay, remember that later we are also going to add a service for our search, but we will do that later. Now the first method we want to add is the method to create a user. Okay, and we already have our model. Okay, we are going to use this model right here. Okay, so we are going to create a user, and then when we create the user, we are going to send or publish a message to an exchange. Now, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. When a user creates an account, that user automatically becomes a buyer. Okay, so when a user creates an account, they automatically become a buyer, and we are going to have a separate service to manage our buyers and sellers. And each buyer will be added to a MongoDB database, and then each seller will be added to a MongoDB database. Okay, so once we create a user and the user is successful, the creation is successful, we are going to publish an event to a buyer exchange. We don't have anything related to the buyers right now, but we are going to create the publish method. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the first function. I'm going to export it, so export async. And this is going to be function. I'll call this create auth user. Okay, this is going to take data of type iauth documents. Okay, the iauth documents. As you can see, all of this we don't. We just have to import it from the library. We don't have to create a new, because we already created all that before. Okay, so here, this is going to return promise of type iauth document. Okay, with this we want to return the document that was created. Okay, so I think if we go to the SQLite documentation, let's see, if we go to querying, now to create a new user from the simple insert, because that is what we want to do, we can use model await model then dot create. Okay, so this is the function we want to use to be able to create the user. Okay, and then it returns the object or the model, and then we can get what we need from the model. Okay, so we call model dot create. So here it's going to be very simple. I'll say const result. Result is going to be of type model. Okay, and then we say await auth model dot create, and then we pass in the data. Okay, remember that this data contains all the properties we need, we want to save to our database. You can see them. Okay, so this will create the user and then return a model. Now inside this model, we are going to get you can see the different properties, but what we need is these data values. And then the data values will contain our iauth document. Okay, so now, like I already said, every user that creates an account will automatically be a buyer. Okay, now let us construct the message details object that we will use to that we are going to send to the buyer service. We don't have the buyer service now, but it's okay if we add it at this point. So I'll create an object. I'll call this message details. Now this message details will be used to create a new buyer. Okay, so here in the MySQL database, we are just going to add the documents or the data for the user, but then to create the actual buyer, we are going to add it to MongoDB. Okay, so this will be iauth buyer message details. We already created this property. We can see what it contains. Okay, right here. So these are the properties that it contain: the username, profile picture, email, country, created at, and type. We're going to use this to create the object in the MongoDB database. So let's set username. This will be from results.dataValues.username. Okay. And then we set email, results.dataValues.email. Now remember, this data values, we are getting it from model, because the create method, it returns a model. It does not return the actual document. It returns a model, and then inside that model, it contains this data value that contains the actual document that was added to the database or to the table. Okay, so that is why we are using result.dataValues. And then here, profile picture, this will be result.dataValues.profile picture. Here, in case we are using this, so in case it's undefined, okay. Or in fact, let me just duplicate this. Here, this will be country, and then this will be created at, okay. And then we need to set a type. I'll set this to auth. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this is so we know we can use the conditional to check, okay, if type is equal to auth, we know exactly that it's coming from the auth service. Now let us publish the message. We just publish by calling await, then publish direct message. And then remember this publish direct message, it takes in the auth channel. Remember auth channel as well. We exported it from server. You can see it right here. We exported it from here. This is where we are setting the values. Okay. So auth channel, and then it takes in the exchange name. So I'll give the exchange Jobber buyer updates. Okay. So this is going to be the exchange, and then this is the routing key user buyer, and then the message. This is what we want to send, but we need to send it as a string. So it's going to be JSON.stringify. And then we pass the message details. And then lastly, we can pass the log value. We can say buyer details sent to buyer service. Okay. So this is how we publish a message. We pass the channel, the exchange, the routing key, the message, and the log value. And then one thing we need to do is we need to return. Remember here we are returning the IAuth document. Now we don't want to return the password. Okay, it doesn't make sense. We don't want to return the password. So the document that is returned from result.dataValues, we need to omit the password. And we can do that with Lodash. Okay, so I'll say const user data. This is going to be of type IAuth document equal to omit. So we call Lodash. So we want to omit a particular field or a particular field key and value from the object. So where do we want to omit from? Result.dataValues. And what do we want to omit? We want to omit the result field or the password field. So you set this to password. You don't want to send the password to the front end. Okay. So I'll cast this as I document, and then we return I or the user document. Okay. Now this is what we need in order for us to be able to create a user. So here we create a user by calling auth.create, and then it returns a model. The model contains the values we need, which is inside these data values. Then we construct our message details to be published to the buyer or the user service. We don't have the buyer set up yet. We are going to do that later, but we can publish the message. Okay. And then here we are omitting the password because this will return the complete row for that particular user. We don't want the password to be sent. Okay. So here we omit the password and then we return the user data.